So if you pray for it, you better stay for it. Now, what does that mean? What I'm talking about is if you wish for something or you pray for something or you long for something, most of the time you need to put some work in to receive it by the time it comes, because that's really what it is. To say I've set a goal for myself, this is what I aspire to have, this is what I aspire to do, and therefore by the time that opportunity comes, it will look like your prayers have been answered. It will look like everything you've been asking the universe has been answered. But really it comes down to putting the work in. So for example, I did a video once before, wish it, want it, work for it. That means if you wish for something, that means you recognize that you want something, therefore work for it. So by the time it comes, you are ready. So the examples that I used were, if you wanted to be in a professional sports league, bam, you're in a uniform right now. Have you put the work in, the real work in, to be ready to perform and actually compete at that level? Have you done that if you are looking to have a ring on that finger? Have you put that work in to say, I know what it takes to be in a committed relationship. I know what it takes to be this person to another person, because it's a big change in life. If you said, I want to travel the world and go to someplace else, bam, have you learned travel customs? Do you know languages? Do you know the cultures in which you will be putting yourself in? Or are these just ideas of, grandeur, and you have yet to put the real work in? Because without it, the way I kind of look at it is, if the universe or whatever source that you are asking this from provides this for you, it is taking it from something or somebody else to provide it for you. So that starting position, or that spot on a roster for a team, that could be somebody else who actually did the work. But by some sort of default, now it's a wasted opportunity. It's a waste because the person that actually did the work may not have received it for whatever reason. So just follow me with this one. It's food on a plate. You ever see a child, they'll eat certain things, but then they'll pick at something else, and that's not finishing what you actually set forward. I'm hungry, then you get a plate, and then you don't finish it. Well, it's wasteful. Even if you scrape it in the trash, just because it's gone doesn't mean it's gone from your life. So when you're done with something, doesn't mean that it's done with you. So if you pray for it, you better stay for it. Now, that does not mean if it is some sort of terrible situation where it is more to your detriment than your advancement or your progression. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there are tough times when it comes to getting into that spot. Okay, fine, you're in a professional league. You got to practice every day. You got to study films. You got to, be in the gym. You got to do all sorts of things. Relationships, you better get to know somebody else very well, starting with the other self that's going to be somebody to somebody else, because you got to share everything now at this point. Have you put that work in, that real work? You got to start from the inside out. And the inside means you really got to, get down to the nitty gritty. It's easy to start from the outside in because you can blame other people on the outside and say, well, it was because they did this, that's, and that. Nope, you're a culmination of your own choices in a lot of instances. Now, I know that there's outliers, but for the most part, we are a walking result of our own actions. Outside, that would also be your physical. You can change your physical, but if you don't change the inside, nothing's going to change. So that means talking to a therapist. That means talking to someone in your church or your community of beliefs. That means having a good circle of people that you can really, sound out to, and therefore be honest. Because a therapist, a priest, or anybody else, they're not lie detectors. You have to tell them exactly what's going on, what it is that you need to work on, and be honest with yourself. Otherwise, they can't fix anything. It's like going to the doctor. When they say, hey, what's going on? If you tell them something wrong, you will leave that doctor's office in no better condition than you came in. So you have to be honest with yourself about what it is that you are actually needing to work on for yourself in order to be prepared for what you've actually said that you want from the universe, from your place of belief, whatever it is, even if it's just within yourself and a personal goal. The only person that's going to know if you actually put the work in is you in that moment of truth. So I'm going to leave it at that. What's your ace up the sleeve? What's your advice, your comment, experience? Because I'm sure we've all been there. We've seen either ourselves or we've seen other people who have really wanted something. And a lot of people will have taken it and flourished because they did the work to be ready when that moment came. And others have just fallen flat on their faces. But there's nothing wrong with failing, because fail, the acronym, first attempt in learning. So you can learn from it, but what you got to learn is you actually got to do the work. Just wishing for it isn't always going to carry us through. So I'm going to leave it at that. But I would love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments. Likes do help the video, even dislikes, just some sort of interaction with these videos. And I will leave it at that. I hope this finds everybody in their place, their pursuit, or their beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.